Biohazard.
It was so nice that we had to do it twice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second podcast of Dark Rocker and System 3D of yours truly, the greatest tag team of UW history, BIOHAZARD. I thought that after the first podcast be a nice opportunity to do a second one, because why twist one nipple when you can twist two? Without any further introduction, my friend System 3D, System, how you doing today?
Oh, wow, that was quite an intro, Dark Rocker. I mean, why twist one nipple when you go twist two, dude? Anyways, no, it's fucking great, man, to be doing this with you again. So, yeah, of course we're going to do more than one, but this one's dope because Dark Rocker is going to be interviewing System 3D this time. So, yeah, it's great, man. I hope you're doing good, too, over there, Dark Rocker.
I knew that you were going to laugh at that introduction, and I was thinking to myself, like, you know, I hope if he does find it funny, he, you know, keeps some laughter in there. And I was like, maybe he's hesitant on responding because he's laughing too much. I don't know, but let's get started with the questions here. My first question I have for you is, when and how did you get into wrestling?
How I first got into wrestling was pretty similar to you in a way, actually, because I did watch it with my father, our Payne. He was the one that watched at my house. So I've honestly been watching wrestling since I was pretty much born, since I could even remember anything. So I've always been into it, and when I was like a teenager, I really got hardcore into it and actually wanted to be a wrestler, maybe even WWE and shit. And you know, eventually, like, when I was watching WWE, by the time we did UW and stuff, I kind of like stopped wanting to be like a WWE wrestler because I started to want to be more of like an actor and entertainer anyways, and plus where wrestling was at that point, like all PG and stuff, I didn't want to be a part of it. It's a lot better now. Yeah, I pretty much just grew up with my dad watching wrestling. Whenever I chill with him, I'd play the wrestling games a lot. I would make like my characters in and stuff, and that's the kind of stuff that definitely inspired me to want to do wrestling myself.
Very cool, very cool. It's ironic how both of our fathers kind of got us into wrestling. But growing up, you know, my dad wasn't really playing video games and stuff of that nature. So his brother, my Uncle John, lived with us, and him and I would play wrestling games and actually play wrestling, him and my brother Brian and I. So definitely a lot of fun memories there. Okay, question number 2. Do you have a favorite match stipulation?
Now, for this, I have a lot. Like, if we're talking WWE stipulations, which I'll mention first, Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell are big ones. For our company, the Crucifix match is something I really thought was cool that we did. There's been a couple other ones, I can't remember them off the top of the head. Like, the King of the Hill match, obviously. But a good old ladder match. There's something about a ladder match. I think they're really intense. I like doing them a lot, to be honest. But I feel like for some reason I do like the chaos of a ladder match. I understand. I don't want to do them all the time, but like our ladder match at Fire Files 3 to me is one of the greatest matches we did, and like the King of the Hill matches and stuff, and the Crucifix match. Those are probably my 3 favorite matches that we did in UW for stipulations, at least.
I love how you can say good old ladder match in a serious tone. That's great. Okay, so here's a real deal question for you. Will we ever see a resurrection of System 3D in UW?
Well, with this question, I don't want to spoil like too much of the future, but you know, is it possible System 3D could return? Yeah, for sure. As for right now, 063 is pretty much the one that's completely took over that vessel, but you may see some like minor appearances of 3D before he returns. I don't want to spoil too much, though.
I definitely understand keeping it a secret, and you know, I definitely feel the same way about my return as Dark Rocker. Speaking of which, And you know, this is going to be a second audio added to this because I don't feel like I'm going to be able to have time to ask a question. I just wanted to add that I showed just a clip of an audio piece to my future promo coming out on July 31st, and just a less than a minute clip, she was like blown away at how crazy the audio was alone. So I think we got good things in store. Speaking of you know, if System 3D were to return, I got a really good question for you. You know, because I kept thinking about this, you know, since we started talking again. What do you envision the return of Dark Rocker looking like?
Well, I honestly am extremely excited for Dark Rocker's return. It's something that, you know, people didn't think was even possible to happen. I didn't even think it was possible to happen. There was a part of me that was like, maybe, but I don't know when or how. But with Dark Rocker returning, especially with System 3D just being gone like a month and some change beforehand, like, that makes the story even fucking better, because on the burial you really saw like the return of UW in a way. Like, you really saw like some shit happen, but with some new stars. There was no System 3D around, and you actually felt that for the first time, which is why the burial with Satan Star, I feel like, really started off this final chapter of UW. And because it introduced like Satan Spawn, and it was mainly like Satan Star and King Tragedy, and then you saw 063 involved, but there was no System 3D, and 063 is just completely different from 3D. You feel a lack of the old UW. So Dark Rocker coming back kind of brings back the old UW. That's something that really excites me, because I feel like everything that was set up this year so far with UW returning is only, like, in a way, like a build for Dark Rocker returning, because the old UW is completely vanished, and now these new people have taken over. King Tragedy is a king, the king of UW and the champion. He runs the show. He's saying it's not back. So to have Dark Rocker return is like a huge thing. It's like bringing back the old UW in a way, when we just lost an original System 3D from the show, and there's no 360 or anything like that. And Dark Rocker, like, as far as his return goes and how I think his promo is, I have no clue, but I imagine it's going to be some very trippy, illusional, like, type stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. But one last thing, yeah, seeing Dark Rocker return and take on all these new motherfuckers is going to be, like, amazing. That's like something I'm really looking forward to too, man. Like, big time. Like, the way it's set up is perfect.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way too. That you know, the 2024 return of UW is a build-up for Dark Rocker's return, and you know, I don't want to add anything to spoil anything about Rocker's return. The only thing I'm going to say about it is going to air on July 31st, and that's all I'm going to say. You know, we just gotta wait and see what happens. I will say to you that you are going to be the first person to witness the return promo, and you know, we talked about how, you know, I'll upload it 12 hours to let you see it before it premieres on YouTube, you know. And after you see the promo, then after that, I want to let you know, like, the inspirations and like the whole story behind it. But moving on to our next question. Okay, the next question is, how would you rank your characters?
If we're talking like ranking them by like my favorites, my favorite to play, 063 and 3 are tied. And then after that would be 360 and System X would be tied like after that, because I have a lot of fun playing 3D with the goofy side and 063 with the dark side. System X is kind of like a mix of, which is what we used to call a Dr. Reality. I changed that name because I wanted to fit more with System 3D, System 360 and all that, since it's one of the first 3 dimensions, and Dr. Reality was a name I just used from XJW for the fuck of it. And I was like, nah, dude, let's switch that. But he's still, like, his tag name is the Doctor of Reality, but he is System X. So that character in 360, I do still like them somewhat. I think I actually like 360 a bit more because that's my only babyface character. But System 3D, I like that how he's like in between and he'll fight anyone. 063 is actually like that too, but he's just like a straight heel. And System 3D is like a tweener kind of, but he does get on the heel side. But those characters are really fun to play, whether it's the goofy shit or the evil shit. It's really fun. So I guess for my last thought, I put, yeah, if I was going to rank them, System 3D and 063 are at the top of the fucking mountain right there. Even though 360 technically won the most titles, him and System X I put, you know, on the bottom tier below them. But I still do like those characters, especially 360, just to play a babyface once in a while. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
I feel like Wrecker came back and feuded with 063. I feel like that would be like a very amazing feud. I definitely like what I saw from the video you sent me. My next question I have for you is, are you getting an Elimination Chamber match, right? You got the Dark Alliance version of Dark Rocker, the Biohazard version of Dark Rocker, Dark Abyss, Starbreaker, the artist formerly known as Dark Rocker, and Solus. Who do you think would win that? And if you want to get into it, you know, if you want to, you can explain like how you would book the eliminations.
Alright, so I mean, I'm not sure who's starting off, but let's just go by like, let's just say they're all in the ring at the same time at some point, and we'll just go from there. And it doesn't matter who went in first. Because Dark Abyss, I know that he's really ruthless, and same with Solus. I know it would be a bloodbath with those two involved, but I don't know if that necessarily means they'll win. When you are a Dark Rocker, there's times where you've completely took over UW, and then there's times where you're the underdog, but sometimes the underdog rises, like at Fighter Finals 5. And then when you were Starbreaker, it's kind of hard to decide because that character was actually pretty fucking powerful as well. The artist formerly known as Dark Rocker, I think, and Starbreaker are around similar levels, I would think, from how we booked them and stuff like that, from what I remember. I feel like I would have to give it to Dark Rocker, unless like some crazy shit happens from Solus or Dark Abyss, which could, I could see them just fucking up the match, one of those two. Or they could just eliminate everyone, I don't know. Like, because I feel like if Dark Abyss and Solus got in the ring, just period, it would lead with some kind of fucking explosive ending. God, it's hard though. But Dark Rocker, I think, could pull it off as the underdog because he's pulled off so many things like Fighter Finals 2, Fighter Finals 5, win the main events of those. You beat Chrome at Fighter Finals 8. I would have to give it to Dark Rocker. Somehow you pull it through. And to reiterate, I'm talking about the Biohazard Dark Rocker from 2017, 2018, that time right before he became the artist formerly known as Dark Rocker, you know what I mean? Back when he was whooping the Plague's ass in Hell's Army and shit. Gotta go with that Dark Rocker. Or the Fighter Finals time, Fighter Finals 5. That Dark Rocker, goddamn, was that a vicious one?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, I feel like the Dark Alliance version of Dark Rocker from 2011 would win because our pain would help him with that. As far as elimination order goes, yeah, even I have a hard time trying to figure that one out because, you know, they're all ranked so powerful in their own way, and yeah, you know, I can't say that Dark Abyss would get eliminated first, like as they would try to attack him first to get rid of one of the two most dominant ones in the match. I feel like at the same time, Dark Abyss would eliminate a bunch of other, would try to eliminate a bunch of other wrestlers. And getting back to business here, I hope I'm using this word right, but what do you think an incarnation of Biohazard would look like if it was portrayed by Starbreaker and System 360?
Honestly, that would be very interesting to do, and I'm fucking down to do it in the future at some point when the 063 story is, you know, kind of wind down or whatever, and it's time for System 3D to maybe make an appearance. But But Starbreaker for a switch of Dark Rocker would be interesting, and System 3 could even be like, oh, you're different a little bit. But didn't I fight you once? You know what I mean? So that would be kind of cool. And I'm sure we could do something different with that. There was a version that we did. There was a match we did, I should say, where we had like a different version of Starbreaker, where you had like a star on your face, which you did a few times, but it was like a different version of all that. I wish we had it, and like your attire was different, and my attire was different. I wore like a fedora hat, and I was doing like a UW Mafia type thing with the green mask, but I had the fucking fedora hat. I wish we had that footage, but that was actually System 3D versus Starbreaker. The one time we actually did that match, and it was inside, actually, Chuck Dredd's house. We'll just say that, Chuck Dredd and Madam Madness's house, and we shot it in there and fought all over the fucking place. And I would actually love to bring Starbreaker back with System 3D, because yeah, it would be a switch up from Dark Rocker, so it'd be interesting for sure.
Oh, you're saying now. Yeah, no, I think that's all great and everything. And you know, there's so many possibilities we can do when we meet each other again for the face-to-face return of UW. And this question is kind of like going back to the origins of UW, and before UW. What made you want to do wrestling in 2008?
So basically, I did want to do a wrestling show even before 2008, which I did a little bit of. I don't know how many matches. I think we had like 10 or 11, maybe 12 that we did, but it was mainly me versus Flame Damien. And I actually talked about this a little bit on the last episode, but I'll get into it a little bit more. Yeah, with XJW, like, we really didn't know what we were doing too much. There was actually a couple cool matches that we did, and that was actually with me and a different friend that I had at the time, Adam. And he was going to play Hellraiser originally, actually. Even back in 2008 we talked about, but he was somebody that I couldn't get to do shit, so he didn't continue on to the UW. But we did have a couple matches in XJW that were fucking dope. But all that shit was recorded for XJW on camera by the Jay and Jew show fucking recorder at the time, which is the show I did with fucking Flame Damien, the comedy show that you know about, but I was just referencing it for fans. But we had a camera guy named Alex who recorded XJW as well, and a couple other things we did from like 2006 to 2007. And I don't know, he lost the tapes or some shit. I don't know what the fuck happened to that. So XJW, my first attempt at a wrestling show, even though we did at least 10 matches, I mean, I would definitely know we did more than that, but I remember like a good dozen of them probably, if I really thought about it. And most of them were me and Flame Damien. There were a lot of funny shit in it, but then there was good shit too, where we are actually serious at times. But I've been wanting to do a wrestling show for a while, but those guys didn't know what the fuck they're doing, you know what I mean? Like, believe it or not, Flame Damien knew what he was doing more than the other people involved. Brandon was involved at the time, but he didn't really give a fuck about wrestling shit. And when we chilled, we mainly did comedy shit, so he was only involved a little bit. We had this other guy, Joe, that wrestled fucking Flame Damien in a match in my fucking room once on my birthday. This was the first event we did in 2004 where we only had 2 matches. But I just want to tell this story real quick because they were falling over on the bed. They actually broke the fucking bed. Flame Damien and fucking Joe, dude. They were 2 fat, chubby dudes, we'll just say that. They liked their snacks at the time, and they were that tornado plus size. But they had a match and broke the fucking bed, and my stepdad at the time got pissed. It was hilarious. But then when I met you in 2007, we talked for a while. We actually would like practice wrestling moves like around your dad's house. I remember when I would like stay the night, and then you would come to my house, and sometimes we'd like to have matches in the yard, and I would do matches with Juice sometimes. I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just do a wrestling company, me, you, and Juice. Then we got other people involved, like Connor as Ace, and FedEx, Tank, and then I was like, you know what, it's on, dude, let's do fucking UW. And originally it was XUW when we did it, and later changed to IKW that year. I literally changed it. It went from XUW, Extreme Underground Wrestling, to IKW, Independent Kick-Ass Wrestling, and then there was a short time where we're XKW, Extreme Kick-Ass Wrestling, and then we're like, you know what, let's go UW, Uncensored Wrestling. But honestly, it was because of mainly you why I wanted to do the wrestling. I remember I had the XUW logo on my skateboard for the 360 character before we even started recording UW, and you showed your dad, and you're like, yeah, we're going to do a wrestling show called XUW, and that really was like, okay, we're doing this, you know? So honestly, it was really because of you, and honestly, Flame Damien at the time, and then everybody else that got involved in the early seasons. I was like, yep, it's on, we're doing it.
And that's really cool. God, Alex Monahan, yeah, I remember him. Here's 30 ways on how to die. Okay, so I have a really funny Alex story for you that I have never told you before, and you'll like this one a lot. So I had a really, so in 2015, when Rocker took his first hiatus, I had a really cool friend named Zach who was a really positive person to be around, helped me out a lot. You see stories about Diamond Dallas Page and motivating people. That was how Zach was. So where Zach was living in Menands with 3 other friends. There was a guy who was with this girl, and we're all around the same age. And Alex, unfortunately, at the time was homeless, and Zach and him were good friends. So Zach offered him a place to stay. So it was really nice. So I could say that my last time I saw Alex was pretty positive. But the guy was such a fucking klutz. So we would play a lot of Rock Band, the old Guitar Hero Rock Band, the games that Dark Rocker would play, and we're all hanging out. I forget the girl's name, and the guy that was kind of the head of the house. Actually, there was 4 guys and 1 girl, and the guy who kind of his parents owned the house, and his name was Nick. That's right. Well, Nick was at work. His girlfriend, I forget her name, but her, Zach, I, and Alex are all downstairs, and we're all talking, and they're watching me play Rock Band, and I think it was an Avenged Sevenfold song I was playing. Alex was always complimentary on my skill ability on the game, and nothing going on. I hit this solo in the game, and ended up hitting all the notes, just all nonchalant, nothing going on. Well, it surprised him. It surprised him to the point where he's sitting on the couch. He was still pretty heavyset at this point. I don't know if I told you this back in 2016, right a week before I worked my first job at Walmart. And I don't know if he got surprised because of what he saw on the TV and what I could do. I don't know what it was, but he jumped and said he jumped and goes, "Fuck!" and bangs his foot on the fucking glass coffee table that's right in front of him, and we all just started laughing. I was like, what a fucking idiot.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, but good times, and Flame Damien, that's a story for a different day. And my first time I met Brandon, with the cool identical lawnmowers, and my next question isn't too important, but I figure I ask anyways. If we had a chance to bring back the Team Reality, would that be good for the upcoming season of UW?
Oh, I definitely think it could work. Is that the plan that's in my mind at the time right now? No, but there is things in my mind where it's okay, I could alter the plans if Chuck Dredd and R-Pain wanted to do something like that, and it would be very interesting, but I'm not too sure, man. As for that Alex Monahan story, dude, that's hilarious. I just want to comment on this real quick, because, yeah, that's Alex who he was telling the story about, dude, and that's the guy who recorded XJW, pretty much the prequel to UW that you'll never see because he lost the footage or whatever the fuck happened, so that's that guy. Anyways, back to your question. With Reality, though, we could definitely slide them in. I'd love to. I'm planning to do a Day of Destruction 2 event. If we can get that far to pushing it to 5 events, I would. Right now, I have 3 possibilities to end UW. You could either end UW with 2 events, 3 events, or 5. And if we do 5, there will be Extreme Mercy 2025. But we'll see how things go, and there will also be a Day of Destruction 2025, but Day of Destruction 2 is what we'll label it, and I'd love for them to return and be involved. As reality, though, I'd leave that up to them, really, if they wanted to do that. Honestly, whatever they wanted to be involved in, I would be able to slide them in by that time, because of the way I have everything planned, because I could end this with 3 events, or I could go on further. And if they got involved, it would be even more reason to go on further, but there is a part of me that wants to do 5 events either way, but reality being involved, whether they're a team or not, is good, for sure. And because 360 faced R-Pain, System 3D faced R-Pain, 1-1, I mean, that's it. We only had 2 matches, technically one-on-one matches. I would like to have one with 063 in R-Pain, so if that could happen somehow, that would be fucking amazing. And getting reality involved, it's up to them, you know? But I think it could definitely work, for sure, and we could definitely slide them in if they wanted to bring that team back. If they're solo, I also have ideas for that, too, so they're definitely welcome to the final chapter, and I would love to get them involved.
We have, you remember Arthur Curtis. Well, he's been interested as well as in doing some work with UW again. We saw him giving names to Satan Star and Amazing X, and he still keeps in contact with me. He actually texted me some names for Chuck D and Chuck Dredd, and I want to read them to you. These are names that he came up with. We have a diaper on Broadway, Bertha Bon Ballsack, cold nipples that long to leave New York. Well, let me reread that one again. Cold nipples that long to leave New York. Damn, that diaper smells. Get me out of here, I'm a pamper. Tremendous Tasty Cakes Johnson. Spank my thighs on a Saturday night. And the butt cheeks of King Decott. Well, we appreciate Arthur Curtis for taking the time out of his busy schedule to send that to us. And hopefully we see him again in the future.
Oh, God dang.
My next question is, why did Chuck D... Hang on. Why did Chuck D crap his diaper?
Question we ask ourselves every match. I mean, he's crapped himself a lot of times, I'm sure. One time I know he crapped himself for sure was the time where System 3D and Dark Rocker beat the shit out of him in 2012. I mean, we smelt his diaper, and that's when we knew, oh, god damn. What's destructive about him is his diaper. Now, that's dreadful. That's what the D stands for.
And the Chuck Dredd match is playing as I'm talking.
Like, just change your name to Diaper, bro. Use that D name, because you need one, bro. You need another one. Like, I don't know when's the last time you changed that shit, dude, but god damn, last time I saw you, I had to walk away.
Got a stinky diaper.
Like, I actually shot a promo with Chuck Dredd that we never aired back in 2021, and I couldn't release it, dude, because he had fucking shit stains on the back of his pants. I mean, dude, you could see diaper slips, nip slips, everything in that video. I was like, yo, King Tragedy is gonna censor the fuck out of this. Let's just not even air this.
Wipe your diaper, boy. What?
And, if Arthur Curtis ever came back, that'd be fucking interesting. I heard that Satan Star wants Chuck Dredd, though. He wants to stomp his diaper dry. That's what I'm hearing.
This brings me to my next question. Okay. How did you tolerate... my next question. How did you tolerate Chuck D's... Fuck it, you know, even recording is so hard. How did you tolerate Chuck D's dirty diaper on the set of Fighter Finals X? You know, the original Fighter Finals 10 that we shot in 2019.
Actually, I don't think he was in that Fighter Finals 10. I don't know if he was at the fucking Pamper Factory or what he was doing, but I know for a fact he was at Blood Rush 2 when he fought Satan Star. And although I wasn't around him, I heard his fucking diaper was reeking. But when I saw him in 2021, dude, nothing reeked more than that fucking diaper.
Yeah, I know that Chuck D wasn't at Fighter Finals 10. I just wanted to mess with you. Okay, so my next question is, if you were in WWE, who would you want as your manager, and who would you want to commentate to your matches?
Alright. I'm gonna have to think of the manager for a second because there's like 3 possibilities in my head. But before I get to that and decide, I would like the King and JR. That was my favorite commentary team. There's other ones I like a lot. Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura together. Bobby's Brain Heenan was good, but King and JR. Alright, now for a manager, Paul Heyman I feel like would be fun to work with. I don't know if he would work with System 3, because maybe though, it would be funnier. I don't know. I feel like maybe he would work somehow with one of my characters, but maybe like System X or something somehow, as like some dominant type version of that. Because 063 is too dark for that. So I'd probably go with Paul Heyman if System X was to have a manager. 360 if he was going to have a manager. Now that's one I can't really decide on that. So I don't know if I could answer that one. But System 3D if he had a manager, I feel like Vicky Guerrero. Just because she was with like these crazy heel characters, and System 3D and her could have probably had like a really funny gimmick. She probably would have been her best thing as a manager if it was with System 3D, honestly, because she was more a comical character. I would actually put that, or Jim Cornette, but Jim Cornette was more for like serious characters. But then again, he swears like System 3D, so it would just be chaos, so that would be kind of comical as well. So either of them would work for 3D. And then 063, you know, the only one that I think could work for him is Paul Bearer, but I wouldn't use him because it would make it too much like an Undertaker or Kane thing. So honestly, I wouldn't put any manager for him. But hopefully that answers the question. But yeah, for 3D, I could see Vicky Guerrero, maybe Jim Cornette. I think Vicky would work actually better with 3D. And Paul Heyman could probably be like for like some heel, serious, dark run of System X possibly.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and you know, I too don't know if I would picture someone managing 063. My next question for you is, who is your favorite wrestling rivalry, or you know, or do you have a favorite, or like what were your favorites?
All right, so my favorite like WWE, I'll say rivals. Definitely Stone Cold and The Rock, or Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon, all that stuff from that era was really fucking good. Undertaker and Kane, I did, of course, like their feud a lot, and inspired like a lot of the darker type things I do. And Mankind, Undertaker, and how he got involved in Kane, all that whole storyline. But there's so many good ones. Like there's obviously Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. And Shawn Michaels versus Triple H is really fucking good. There's so many good ones, dude. I could just keep going on, and I don't want to make this like a 10-part answer, but yeah, those are some that come to mind for sure. And for female wrestlers, Mickie James versus Trish Stratus is number 1 for that.
Yeah, you got that right. There definitely are a lot of great feuds and rivalries in WWE. My next question is, what are your thoughts on Barney Pads?
Barney Pads? I don't know. Him and fucking Chuck Dredd mark a fucking resemblance. I'll just say that. I guess that's Chuck Dredd's split personality. I mean, he could do whatever he wants to do, but as long as he stays away from me with all those fucking diapers, I'm good. I'm good on that.
Yeah, he fucking splits his diaper. Okay, next question. How would you rank Hell's Army?
Hell's Army, I feel like they definitely took over UW for a decent period of time. Hellraiser specifically, him and Death Reaper did a lot of carnage in UW, and they both won championships and shit like that, but then the group self-destructed and they rebooted, but then when they kind of rebooted, they got their ass kicked a lot by Biohazard, to be honest. Like, Biohazard, R-Pain, and even Chuck Dipes were all pretty much fucking kicking Hell's Army's ass from like 2017. Even the fucking other Biohazard people I brought in, like Violence, SG, even E-Man, you know, they were all slapping fucking Hell's Army members around at one point, but there was a point where Hell's Army was fucking a dominant force. In the old days of UW, when they first came in, like, Hellraiser and Death Reaper in the beginning were kicking so much fucking ass. I mean, they were fucking destroying everybody they came in contact with. They beat up Arpain, Chuck Dredd back to back. They beat fucking BIOHAZARD. At Fighter Files 4, that's where the shift in UW changed and Hell's Army took over for a good bit. And Hellraiser also recruited Dark Rocker with the help of Death Reaper by turning Dark Rocker into Dark Abyss, and Dark Abyss was another ruthless force, and they had all these other members, Genocide, Madam Madness, Anti-Abyss joined for a bit, but it was a trick by 3D. So how I feel about Hell's Army and how I'll rank them is they were fucking top of the top, like literally on top of the fucking show at one point. From like 2012 to 2014, they were definitely on top. Even though they were starting to fall apart there, and then at the end of it, and when they came back, they just got their ass kicked, and tragedy really took over their spot, I feel.
A lot of great history of Hell's Army. I actually forgot all about Anti-Abyss, and you know, thank you for reminding me, because I forgot a lot about Hell's Army. Now my next question is, who are your top 5 or top 10 favorite UW wrestlers?
So I'm gonna leave 063, 3D, 360, and System X out of this. It's definitely Dark Rocker, like with all the characters he does, the way he like, and plus like he's kicked off the show with me. Of course you're in there. Arpain, just when he's there, it feels like a little bit like extra like awesomeness is on UW. So I love when he's involved. King Tragedy, because of the way he took over, is so fucking epic. Like, he really made his name. So far, that's King Tragedy, Dark Rocker, and Arpain, and this is not in order like how I like them, I'm just listing 5. Hellraiser is definitely one of them, and then if I was gonna put for a 5th, this one's hard. I might have to put Mystery Clown, even though we haven't seen too much, but it's just like this character is so interesting, and the ideas there is for him are so fucking good. I can't wait to see more of that character.
Who would you put as, 6 UW wrestlers would you put in an Armageddon Hell in a Cell match? And by the way, that is our final question.
Okay, so that's a great question. Dark Abyss versus Hellraiser versus Death Reaper versus Arpain versus King Tragedy versus 063.
I would definitely love to see that match. That was like a really, really cool match right there. Well, Stems, this was a pleasure to do this podcast with you, and we'll have to do episode 3 pretty soon. This has been Dark Rocker, one half of BIOHAZARD, and to you, my friend, thank you.
Yep, and this is Stems, System 3D, 360, sign out. Alright guys, see you later, see you in fucking episode 3. Lights, cameras, yep, the rest.